My name is Anne Anderson. I'm going to introduce you to Bretby, which is a type of Victorian art pottery. Bretby is a village in Derbyshire, and the pottery therefore takes its name from its location. The founding of the pottery is thanks to Henry Tooth, who had already made a reputation for himself at Linthorpe Art Pottery, which is in Middlesbrough, which is one of our most famous Victorian art potteries, as the artistic director was Christopher Dresser. Dresser was very keen to ally art and industry, so he can be put on a par with William Morris, but he was less concerned about hand craftsmanship. He was more interested in elevating commercial manufacturers to a higher level by introducing better designs, and in this case, revolutionary technologies. So hopefully you can see that my pot is covered with these thick glutinous glazes. Now these are nothing to do with Christopher Dresser, these are all to do with Henry Tooth. He was the man behind the technology of both Linthorpe and Bretby Art Pottery. In the end, it seems that Tooth rather fell out with the organisation or management of Linthorpe, so he decided to set up an enterprise of his own, and his art pottery at Bretby is distinguished by some very characteristic marks which you'll often find on the base of the pot. A rising sun, which might have some reference to Japan, as so many of these designers were influenced by the Japanese aesthetic, and then underneath Bretby. My pot can also be dated because it's very clearly marked made in England. And for all of you would-be antique experts and also those who enjoy going ferreting around car boot sales, this tidbit is very useful. So if something says made in England or England, it will be made after 1891, which is the introduction of the so-called McKinley Tariff Act in America, which stated that objects had to have their place of origin clearly marked on them. So hopefully you've enjoyed this very brief introduction to Bretby Art Pottery. It was a flourishing factory well into the 20th century, but like many upmarket concerns, suffered various downturns, particularly in the Great Depression of the 1930s. And also the other problem is that these very elaborate glazes are difficult to make today in terms of the rather noxious materials which have to be used. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I will see you again.